Good afternoon and welcome to 3 o'clock with SOC. Give me a second while I welcome our Spanish-speaking neighbors. Buenas tardes y gracias por estar con nosotros hoy día, el viernes, con 3 p.m. con SOC. Por favor, si quieren acceso al programa en español, marquen el número que aparece en la pantalla. Es 646-749-3122. Cuando le contestan su llamada, compartan la contraseña que es 779-328-221. I'm going to remind you folks that I'm looking at a couple of devices just to check last minute changes and messages that are coming through, so I'm not trying to be rude. My name is Tammy Rivera. I'm the Executive Director and Lead Organizer for Southside Organizing Center. It is Friday, folks, August 7th already. The week I don't know about you all, but my days run together, my weeks, my months. Lucky the seasons are easier to tell apart in this pandemic, so we can situate ourselves. I want to let you know we continue to be here for you all in every way that you could access us before, except for in person. So you can call us at the number on the screen, 672-8090, area code 414. You can email us at soc@socmilwaukee.org. And you can visit our website at socmilwaukee.org, where you can get tons of information. But the thing we'd like to lift up is really our COVID-19 information resource and action page. We're trying to help navigate all that information that keeps coming in and changing and organize it in a way that's easier for you to access. And we try to keep it up to date. So do give us feedback if you see something missing or something's not working, a link, or you see something incorrect. We're just trying to help. So take advantage of that. Folks, even though the city is in phase 4 of the Open the City, I think it's Milwaukee Forward Plan. I forget all the different plans have different names. But because SOC's office, many of our staff, including myself, live in 53215 zip code, and it's a crisis spike zip code yet with infection rates. We're taking extra precautions at SOC and not going to any in-person work quite yet. We're doing phone calls, we're doing the forum, we're doing emails, all our social media, and we're doing some contactless programming where we drop off materials or supplies. But our staff can't be with you yet in the community. We look forward to when we can, though. And speaking of that, the reason you don't see me with a mask or many of our staff who come on the program is because we're still working virtually remote. So we're alone. I'm here alone in my fireplace room. And so that's why you don't see me with a mask, but we're definitely committed to being safe. I want to remind you that we need your input. I've been sharing now for 2 weeks that we had to evaluate whether we should continue doing the forum and in what way, because we didn't expect the pandemic to last so long. We decided to continue it. We have funders who are interested in making sure that you have access to the latest information while we're still under the pandemic. And so I want to let you know your surveys are directly impacting the way we do the program. So please fill them out. There's only a couple of questions. It doesn't take more than 5 minutes, and then your voice is heard. We know what to do with the program to strengthen it. And we're also able to share with our funders that we got your feedback. And because of that, in a couple of weeks, we're going to an upgraded format. And what we're going to be doing is dedicating each day to one of our strategies, one of our key initiatives. And so Monday will really lift up civic engagement, elections, and the census, and year-round civic engagement, what's happening in City Hall and some of the other places, the school board, etc. Tuesday, the youth are going to produce, moderate, invite people on, and do their whole program themselves. Wednesday is our all Spanish program, where we'll try to summarize the whole week in Spanish on that day. Thursday is our COVID-19 day. Friday is our Organizing Leadership and Community Development Day, and we'll be featuring SOC's programs and services. But don't be dismayed or think, oh, I don't want to watch Monday because I'm not into civic engagement, because we're still having many of the same format pieces. So we're always going to bring you critical, up-to-date news on what's happening. And you know that in Milwaukee, there doesn't go a couple of days without some critical things happening in all kinds of different arenas. And I have some for you in a little bit. We will give you updates on what's happening with election and voting, because you know all that stuff. There's a lot of voter suppression going on, and so a lot of people trying to obstruct your ability to vote and discourage the people's vote, especially the type of community we have here on the near south side. And then so that's every day. And then COVID you're going to get an update on COVID still every day. And we're going to add a public resource once a day, so you understand all the things that are out there to help you through these times. And even if it's not about this, about house repair or financing or gardening, we want to let you know what's available in the community, starting small businesses or supporting that. We want to let you know that. So you can look forward to that in case it's getting a little redundant to you or it's getting a little too familiar. We're going to change it up a little bit. Also, we want to let you know that on the day of the primary on Tuesday the 11th, we're not doing an all-day vote-a-thon quite yet. We're going to save that for the November, but on that day, we'll be on first thing in the morning and in the midday, in the afternoon and the evening, to make sure you know what to do to get your primary vote cast. So Gabe is our civic engagement manager is going to do that on that day. And so we want to be as helpful as possible in this time when people are trying to stop you from voting. All right, folks, let me see who's here. Want to say hello? Who are our Friday fans? I want to tell you, today is our 91st episode. So we're nearing the 100th episode, and we're going to celebrate. We were asking you all for your ideas. So get them in, because next week we're going to land that plane and decide how we're going to celebrate. Okay, Gladys. Our interpreter is having some problems accessing the line. I'm sure the staff is going to connect with her. Hola, Liz. Elsa. Hola, Elsa. Looks like our interpreter was having some access problems. Hola, Uriel. Let me say a couple of things in Spanish, folks, because we're having a problem with our interpretation line. Mi gente, parece que la que está traduciendo hoy, hola Gladys, que está traduciendo hoy, está teniendo un poquito de problema con el acceso a el número de la teleconferencia. So, la van a ayudar a llegar. So, esperen que ya vamos a resolver ese problema. All right, thanks for allowing me to take that time and get everybody on the same page. She's in. The interpreter is in. Ya llegó Gladys y debe de estar con ustedes a traducir. Te lo agradezco, Gladys, y a la persona que la ayudaron. Gladys is in and she's ready to interpret. Thank you all for helping her do that. Hey, folks, in case you've been watching a lot and then you cut off the forum at the end when you know we kind of have a little routine, you want to stay on till the end of the program after the thank you for the funders, because we have a special dedication for one of our staff, Clarissa, and you don't want to miss it. So we're going to make you hook on and stay until the end of the program. All right, I want to share a disclaimer before we dig in to our critical topic of the day. Listen, we're a certain type of organization, so we can swim in some waters and say some things and not in others. So because of that, I have to offer you a disclaimer that the views and opinions shared today aren't necessarily those that reflect SOC. And that's because we want to create a safe space and let people talk about difficult things and let people talk about things they don't agree on, that we all land in different places on. So we have to create that space. where there's a lot of criticism about the divisiveness and the personal attacks and how ugly people can be when they don't agree. But here we want to be able to share some of those thoughts and create as much of a safe space as possible for our Southsiders. All right, folks. This is wrapping up our week focusing on law enforcement reform, including defunding. And it was our goal to help you understand what those terms mean, what's the spectrum of options there for strengthening public safety and strengthening police community relations. And we're going to end the week with a bang. I'll introduce the guest in just a second. But I'm sure you've heard by now, we've been keeping you up to date on the review of Chief Morales. And if you haven't heard, Chief Morales was demoted yesterday by the Fire and Police Commission back to captain. And Officer Brunson, or Assistant Chief Brunson, is now the acting chief. And the Fire and Police Commission gave him 2 weeks to sort of confirm his team. And then we'll keep you up to date on what's going to happen with the permanent hire for a chief of police. And so here you heard it. We put it on as fast as we could yesterday when we heard. And so if you want the details of what the FPC said, there's a link that you can go watch the video. There's a link to an article. So that's the kind of information we want to bring to you folks that just came off the press. All right. Before we get started, next week, we're going to focus on the new generation of organizers, the organizing generation that came after mine and the one after theirs. And so it's going to be a great program. Tuesday, I want to remind you, Tuesday is our all Spanish program, not Wednesday. We're changing it up. We changed it this week because we had an English guest, an English only speaking guest on Wednesday. And this coming Wednesday, we have Senator Tammy Baldwin. So that program on Wednesday is going to be in English. So we moved the Spanish all forum to Tuesday. You English speakers don't shy away, though, because that day you get to go on the simultaneous interpretation teleconference line and hear everything in English that is being said in Spanish. So stick with us that day. We're going to have, yes, youth empowered by the struggle, the youth chapter of Voces de la Frontera here. And then we're going also to have Dakota Hall, the executive director of Leaders Igniting Transformation. And I've invited on, and I'm waiting to hear back, some other fabulous young folks just slaying it in the organizing arena after the African American Roundtable and Black leaders organizing change in the community. I'm sorry if I messed up your name, Block. I love you guys, admire you guys, but Block is going to be with us. So we're going to try to schedule those folks in. So stay with us next week. All right, let's get to our special guest. Great colleague, have had the opportunity to work with him now for a couple of years. I'm inviting on the president of the local NAACP, Fred Royal, who's back with us again.
How are you?
Hola, Fred.
How you doing?
Good. I'm feeling like we have a virtual office together.
Yes.
Off it on. You must be tired. But listen, your piece that you're bringing to the table is so important for people because we've had the opportunity to express how unhappy we are with what's going on, but we also have to get to the solutions. And two things you've been offering that I was just so appreciative that you're taking, lifting up and taking charge on is to help folks understand some potential solutions. The first one that I heard you talk about was President Obama's 21st Century Policing Plan and the new era of public safety. And so how about let's start with a little bit, Fred, share with people your role at the NAACP and what the NAACP is, and if people want to become members, what they can do, and then let's dig into that topic.
Sure. As the president of NAACP, I'm in charge, or I'm charged with the daily activities of promoting strategies to have equitable access to education, employment, the political process, and ensure that folks are being treated fair and equitably. We know that systemic racism has been an issue and is still an issue in this country. And folks are protesting globally as they see how social economic conditions can impact the community, especially since this pandemic has so adversely affected communities of color.
Yes, absolutely. And if folks are interested in being members of the NAACP, what do we suggest for them to do?
They can even call the office directly at
Looks like our screen is freezing just a little bit. We'll let Fred get caught up, or us get caught up. Fred, we froze out a little bit right when you were giving the phone number.
414-562-1000 or mke.naacp.org.
Great. Now, Fred, share with folks about President Obama's 21st century policing. What does that offer as solutions for the times that we are in now?
So let's be clear, both documents promote each other. The New Era in Public Safety promotes
awesome.
The 21st Century Policing Task Force report.
I wasn't aware of that, so that's good to know.
From a warrior mindset to a guardian mindset.
That's a great shift for folks. I'm going to have you say that one more time because it got a little choppy.
Yeah.
This piece I'll be able to be a little helpful for because I've heard Fred share it a little bit. The main shift there that he's sharing is it changes the posture of the police from a mentality of being a warrior to being a guardian. And so imagine if you feel one way or the other, they're drastically different. And that's what overall the plan is doing. When we get Fred back, we'll have him explain a little more details about the program. In the someone doesn't want our message to be heard, Fred, but we're going to have it heard. I was just reiterating the warrior to guardian piece.
Yeah, I can still hear you clearly. So the crux of what our work has shown that the consensus of the community is, and this is in response to the Department of Justice the community wants community-oriented policing, which is a systematic organizational acceptance of the community co-creating a citywide safety plan, and the community being involved in almost every aspect of law enforcement's policies, from hiring to discipline.
That's awesome. And we know we heard that we had an opportunity to share from the CCC at the Fire and Police Commission, and you had an opportunity to share that piece too. And I'm already hearing inklings of some people already shifting to using that language and using some of those concepts. Like I just saw the new MPD newsletter that came out. Did you see it?
Yes, the Guardian.
And it's called The Guardian. And so yeah. I'm hoping that surface sort of level, you know.
And that's what the Department of Justice brought out, is that there were community-oriented one-offs, like a bike giveaway or a book bag giveaway or this newsletter, but there's not this organizational shift in which community has voice in co-creating policies that impact how law enforcement engages with the community. And that's the hard work. When you talk about civic engagement, that's when we have to be at the table long term. I mean, this isn't something you pick up and put down. This is something that you embed in part of your DNA that this is what we're going to do going forward in the city of Milwaukee to ensure that incidents like Brother Acevedo or, Eric Williams or Dontre Hamilton don't reoccur.
Yes, absolutely. And I think maybe young folks don't know what we know already, which is it takes decades of keeping your presence and the pressure on to see. And we're very, very in need of them to keep that pressure on to move forward. But it's going to take some patience and being at the table. I love what you said, which we've been talking about, the idea of co-creating and how MPD, like their PR game is pretty in terms of that's pretty good. Like you're good there. They're good there. That whole giveaway play thing. The hard part of relationship is having those hard discussions in any relationships. I've said it, whether it's a romantic relationship, a familiar relationship, it's doing the hard talks and the hard work of where there's disagreement and discomfort that we got to dig in. And that's what we're hoping they're going to do.
And see, that's the piece where the new era in public safety comes in. That is the how to get to where we want to go piece. It's an exercise. There has to be a healing process. There has to be a dialogue between law enforcement and community where we can share where we feel that we've been wrong, and law enforcement can do the same thing. And then once we get that process done, we can start moving forward in the areas in which we want this co-creation and community oversight with law enforcement. And that's the hard work, but I think that we can get there, just as the Office of Violence Prevention put forth their action plan to improve or reduce violence in the city of Milwaukee.
Yeah, I was sharing with folks earlier in the week. I did the CCC report on Monday, the full report out here. Mm-hmm. On Tuesday, I listed those dozen or more efforts that I shared with everyone at the FPC meeting. Wednesday, ACLU came on and talked about their piece. Yesterday, Jamal was on and talked about the OVP piece. So there's been a lot of efforts, and a lot of it burden on the community to solve the problem. And now we're just saying, let's come together. So we have the police buy-in and the community buy-in to move forward. Tell me, what are you most encouraged about at this time in Milwaukee's history regarding this issue, Fred? Because you've been out in this for decades.
So I'm most encouraged about the Fire and Police Commission actually operating in their authority. Now, there was a whole lot of conversation on whether or not they had the ability to give a chief of police a directive that he had to follow. If you read the scope of authority for the Fire and Police Commission, they have the right to oversee every operation of the fire and police department. That's what a citizen oversight review board does. So to hear our deputy city attorney said they need more time to determine whether they were within their scope of authority to issue those directives is one of the things that gives me pause. But to see the Fire and Police Commission actually operate in their authority gives me hope, because they have the final say. They have given us the latitude to co-produce this citywide safety plan to develop the community-oriented policing SOP, standard operating procedure, as well as the Common Council has directed MPD to sit at the table and develop this co-created document. So that gives me hope.
That gives you hope. And what's the thing that's most concerning to you in these times that we need to pay attention to as a community and be reacting to or acting towards?
So the mayor wrote a letter to the Fire and Police Commission and stated what he felt were the priorities that they should be focused on. And he did not mention this community-oriented policing standard operating procedure, nor did he mention the Department of Justice collaborative review. And that's what has driven all this change within the Milwaukee Police Department. And people are not mentioning that fact. And what I've seen so often in this city is that we jump on the next fire and try and put that out instead of understanding the cause of the first fire. And we have to stay focused on our history to know how we got here so we can move forward.
Yeah, and we have to honor the efforts of all the people who've been doing all of those efforts that I was talking about earlier, and that we've been sharing, and bring that all together instead of reinventing and kicking off new initiatives. Fred, our time is going fast here. Share a little bit about the Community Coalition for Quality Policing.
Well, that was brought forth. We were formed as a response to legislation that was being proposed in the at the state level to bring forth a Blue Lives Matter resolution in opposition to the Black Lives Matter movement. So we wrote a letter on August 1st to Tom Baird, Chief Flynn, and CC'd Asante Hamilton, who was then the president, and saying that while we respect law enforcement's lives matter, we don't want to diminish that Black and brown people are being summarily executed without due process.
And that committee, that coalition, there's 20 some of us already, right?
Oh, yes. That consisted of the Sherman Park Community Association, the ACLU, the Wisconsin Black Historical Society, the Black Health Coalition, Felmers Chaney Advocacy Board, the United Latino American Citizens, LULAC, the Jewish Community Relations, the NAACP, SDC, Forge, the YWCA, Pastors United, Micah, All People's Church Wisdom, and the Wisconsin Council of Rabbis.
So, folks, a lot of people digging in and have been for a while. We have some hope now, but we have to stay on and stay vigilant. Do you have any last recommendations for folks, Fred, to help make sure that this effort sticks and we see results?
So what I want people to understand is that the ACLU's lawsuit settlement on excessive stops is part of one of the pillars in the 21st century policing model. When we look at what the Blueprint for Peace talks about, the first 5 are socioeconomic things that the government can address. Is within their privy to do so, but they have had not had the political will to do it so far. So when I say that the community has to co-create this citywide safety plan, those things all have to come in combination, and we have to sing in unison to achieve all of this.
That's great. Thank you for being with us. Get some rest. I know yesterday was a long day for you.
Take care. Stay safe.
All right. Thank you. All right. So thankful for Fred and all the work that he does. And I get to work with him because he was the vice chair of the Collaborative Community Committee, now the Community Collaborative Commission. We're both members on there. The election of officers is going to happen at the next meeting, but I appreciate his partnership there. All right. I want to remind you, don't click off the program early today, or you're going to miss our special dedication for Clarissa Morales, our veteran staff here. So you'll have to wait till after the funder thank yous to see that. And you really don't want to miss it. It's just precious. All right, folks. Let's bring on our coronavirus coordinator, Marlene, to give us an update from that perspective of life that we're living now.
Hello. So hi everyone. So I'd like to start off by challenging you to our mask up challenge that we're having. It's in collaboration with UCC and 16th Street Clinic. And what we aim to do is that we're trying to get everyone to take a selfie of themselves wearing a mask and post it up on their social media platforms, such as your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and put hashtag mask up. So what that will do is it'll create a new, hopefully it'll go viral, and everyone can take a picture of themselves, tag 3 friends or family members, and hopefully it'll become kind of like a train and connect individuals together so we can all wear masks and keep each other safe, not only for ourselves, but for everyone around us. If you can see here, a lot of our youth have contributed to the Mask Up pledge. So what they did is they took a selfie and posted it and submitted it. And they actually got a certificate for that as well. And that's a part of the UCC Mask Up pledge that we're collaborating with one another. All right, so for today, usually Fridays, if I don't have Claire Evers on from the Public Health Department, we will go over COVID-19 numbers. So I'm just gonna briefly go over everything with some graphs. So let me share my screen 1 second. All right, so if you can see here, this is the Milwaukee Public Health Department dashboard. You can see that there's approximately 20,732 confirmed cases in Milwaukee. There are 389 deaths so far. And if we zoom in onto this map, if it'll work with me here, we can see that the 53215 zip code is actually one of the highest in Milwaukee, if you look right here. But there's also other cases all around Milwaukee. Like if you look all around Wisconsin, if you look at Brown Deer, there are some high rates of COVID-19. But right here, right in the middle of Milwaukee, we see really high rates of COVID-19 cases right now. So that being said, if you look right here, this is also a part of the Milwaukee Public Health dashboard. So this is the number of confirmed cases by age range. So if you look here, it really has gone up drastically. Individuals from ages 20 to 29 years old, there are now 4,900 cases that have been reported. And then 30 to 39-year-olds, the cases have gone up as well to 4,000 cases. 10 to 19-year-olds, it's gone up to 2,018 cases. And that's all because a lot of us are congregating when we shouldn't be. It's okay to visit your friends and it's okay to visit your family. Try to visit your family if you want to visit your family, but don't, stick with the rules that have been given by the Public Health Department and CDC, such as wearing your mask around your family members, try not to visit each other's houses, go to the park together and, continue to stay 6 feet apart from each other. You can still see each other, but you just won't be in contact with one another and you won't, direct contact with one another and you won't expose each other that way. So if you wear your mask and you do that, it'll still help you and you'll still get a little piece of seeing your family members. If you look here, the total deaths by age range, we have 60 to 69-year-olds, 72 reported deaths, and then 111 in 70 to 79, and then 80 and up is 150 deaths. So it's gone up, as you can see. If you look at confirmed cases by race, look at the Latinx population right here. It's gone up to 6,477, the Latino OAX population. So that's quite a lot. But if you look at the Black community here, there's 5,763. And the white population, the white community is 5,729. Those are the majority, the highest races or ethnicities currently that are the majority of total cases in Milwaukee. But as you can see, this is telling us that a lot of us are not contributing to the CDC regulations that we have to follow on a daily basis. So, you know, try to limit contact with individuals. Try not to have parties. It's really hard, I understand, but it's really important to limit parties, birthday parties, celebrations. If you are going to have a celebration, maybe have 10 people and make sure those 10 people are at least 6 feet apart from each other. Yeah, so those are, just because, you know, we are in phase 4, I understand, you know, phase 4 has a lot of broader, like, accessibility to things like going to restaurants, and you know, it says that, you know, you can go out and see people, but you should still follow the CDC guidelines that have been implemented. I don't know how many times I can repeat that. So then for like total deaths by race, here you'll see it's gone up in the white population. It's fairly high in the Black community as well, and the Latino OAX community. There have been 57 reported deaths. And then that is, let me go back to my main screen. That is all I have to share with you. Again, all of this information is from the Milwaukee Public Health Department dashboard page that they have. And if you have any questions, you know, you can comment them and I can try to get them answered for you, because next week we're having Jeanette Kowalik come on, the Commissioner of the Public Health Department, and I can pass those questions along to her to have them answered.
Thanks, Marlene. We appreciate it. You know what was clear to me? The slope of who was infected used to be this way, right? The older at the top, and it has completely turned to the 20-year-olds. Like, that has gone all the way from this to this.
Yeah.
And to remind folks that it's not just about avoiding getting ill, that we've heard here, even here on the forum, about the long-term effects of being infected with lung, heart, and even brain issues, permanent. And so, you know, folks, it's not just about, oh, okay, I'll just get the flu. It's having some long-term effects on folks, and that's why you want to be careful. And then the last thing I want to remind people about is we still have our 60-plus population who's primarily passing. And remember that, like, if you need some cause for pause, it's our grandparents. And remember that means in their last days, they won't have their family around them. And that's really sad. And we don't want them to suffer illness to begin with, but to think of they'll be separated from their loved ones right before they pass. Like, that's so tragic on top of the tragedy. So please cooperate.
I've
Marlene,
read stories of you know, people passing in the hospital, and the only thing that they have access to their family with is, you know, the doctor having their family members on FaceTime before they're passing. So, you know, we never want anyone to go through that. So try to think of that.
And also, I was thinking when you were sharing about the mask up, that we're to let people know that we're going to search that hashtag and start sharing some of the photos of you all with your creative masks.
Yeah, I'll have all of those for everyone to see next week. So,
all right. Thank you, Marlene. You did a great job.
Thank you.
All right, folks, I want to remind you once again, stay tuned to the end of the program after our thank you credits, because you don't want to miss our special dedication to our veteran staff, Clarissa Morales, who's been with the agency. She's the longest serving staff here, and you don't want to miss that. All right. Gabe is at a training today, and we're so excited she's getting that training. So I'm filling in for her, our civic engagement manager. And so we'll go right into that segment of the program. Why? Because the primary is Tuesday, as I mentioned earlier. And again, I want to remind you that we'll be on right at the beginning of the morning, when elections open. We'll be here at midday. We'll be here at 3 o'clock, and we'll be here in the evening. And so on Monday, we'll let you know what times those are. They're probably going to be right on the, 8, 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock situation. But just to keep you up to date on information, we want to be there for you. And so let me just share, Gabe left me some of her slides to remind you of how you can vote. And I hope the font is going to be large enough for me to read, because if you were with me earlier in the week, I'm over the 50-year mark, so my eyes don't cooperate with small font. Do we have that flyer ready or no? Otherwise, what I'll do is let's bring our guest on, who will be talking about the census. We want to make sure that even though we have all these issues happening here locally and nationally, that we can't lose sight of the census, folks. It's only every 10 years, and it has such severe results, whether you vote or not. It's super important. Remember, our congressional seats, our representation is based on our population. And, we pay taxes to the federal government, and we get those back based on our population. So whenever someone's missed, I think it's like $1,600 or $1,600 a year, each person that we miss. So imagine that over 10 years, that's $15,000 over how many thousands or 10,000s of people who don't get counted. And that's schools, healthcare, the streets, keeping our streets in the potholes filled. We don't want to lose out on the resources that we're entitled to because of our taxes, and that's based on our population. So we have a special guest who's coming back with us again. She was on earlier. Maria Rodriguez, let me welcome her. She is works for the Milwaukee Census Office. Hola, Maria.
Hola. Hola.
How are you doing?
How are you?
Bien, bien.
I'm doing good. Bien. Hi, I was invited today, so nice to be here on the program again. And I was hearing, you're talking about the census, which is very important. And today I wanted to mention how easy it is to fill out, the form, or either they can be done online or over the phone. One of the things is like a lot of people, and some people that I help out before, I noticed they still have those papers in the mailbox. So people doesn't know they have it on the mailbox. So people think, oh, it doesn't have my name, it doesn't belong to me. So they just leave it there. And people, yeah, because I help out some family. He goes, it doesn't have my name on it. I go like, well, it's a federal paper that it's supposed to be filled out by you guys. Well, they don't speak English, so I assist them with helping them out. Which if sometimes people throw those papers out, we can still help them out.
Yes.
Because they have a 12 ID number in there. So if you throw it away, if you misplace it somewhere, we can also look at the address for you guys and just fill it out. Or either you guys can do it in your own house, like on your phone or your computer. It's very easy. If it asks you for your 12 number ID and you guys don't have it, you just ask you for your name, the address, and then that's the way you can access to it and answer it. It just takes like 10 minutes. It doesn't take that long to fill out. And one of the important things is that they don't ask you for like if you're legal, if you're illegal. It is important to put like where you come from, like nationality, because that also helps like if you speak Spanish or Hmong or any language, that it helps you, because that's how they send all those funds to like those communities that they don't speak English. That helps out in different communities, not just like English communities, but like the diversity. And also, it's very confidential. All this, we don't even give it to the IRS or immigration, anything like that. Everything is kept. Like we do our swearing when we do the training, and like the flyer that she's throwing right now, it says right there, everything is confidential. And if we said any information that you guys give us, they can fine us up to $250,000 or we can go to jail for 5 years to prison if we say like any information to like courts or anything like that. We cannot say anything about any of the information that you guys gave us. So it's very important that you guys take in consideration to fill out. Don't miss out this money that helps out like our children for colleges, for school, for the roads, or any of the programs that we have in the city. Right here, we're showing, this is just a reminder, and there's a phone number. You can do it in English, Spanish, or if you need assistance, like if you don't know how to use the internet or your cell phone, my phone number is on the bottom as well. You can call me, you can text me, and I can call you like on your own time. If you say call me like 4 o'clock or after 6 or anytime, I can assist you with that, which is very important. And one of the other things that I wanted to bring up is that time is ending soon. So people are going to start knocking at the doors next week. So if you are afraid of the pandemic that we're going through right now, the people are going to start going out on Tuesday and knocking at the doors to help out people, also like assist them. But if you don't want people because you're afraid, it's better to do it online. And the deadline is on September 30th. I know we had until October, but the president is rushing so we can get this, done soon. So, the sooner you do it, we don't have to go to your house and help you, to fill out the form. So it's better if you guys do it. But if you need assistance, of course, we're happy to help you guys.
Maria, and I think it's important to point out what you said at the beginning here, which is this is the first year, folks, that you can do this online,
yes,
and over the phone, and you can call asking for any language.
Yes.
And they'll get whatever language interpreter you need available for you. That's super, super important. And there are maybe 2 or 3 reasons you don't want people to come to your door, right?
Yes.
I know some of us are lonely and want company. But one is you don't want people who've been to a lot of other doors in the community, even if they're taking safeguards, right?
Yes.
The pandemic. The other thing is there's a lot of people in the community who feel unsafe because they're people of color and they're afraid whether they're documented or not documented.
Yes.
They're going to be afraid of someone thinking they're ICE there or confusing them for being an undocumented person. So there's a lot of fear. So let's avoid that. Let's get it done. Let's get it done over the cell phone or over the online. And there are people like Maria willing to help you. And we have probably 8 staff here too, who are dedicated to that work that can help you guys. If you want to talk to one of our staff that that you feel more comfortable with, you can call us and we're happy to do that.
And then one of the things that I want to mention also that is important, everybody who, if you open the door and some of the representatives go, they do have like an official ID that shows that they're officially working for the census. They also carry a black bag with the census logo. So don't be afraid to, like, if they show their ID, make sure, if you need help, they'll be happy to help you. Because they could be like, they can say like, oh, there's like, we have like to rush up, but they don't have an official ID. They don't trust people who is not officially working for the census.
Maria, could you come back on and show us a sample what that ID looks like? Or do you have one available?
Yes.
That would be helpful so that people can confirm.
So the bag will be a black bag like this.
Okay.
And I know my ID is a little bit different. Well, mine has this chip right here. If you guys can see, mine has this chip. Right here, this chip. But some of this other, I know because some people that I know, they have their census ID, but doesn't have that chip. And they don't have that chip because sometimes with the pandemic, a lot of people cannot be in the office right now. So they're trying to do as much as they can. But of course, everybody who's working for the census are getting the black bag. They have, like I said, an official ID. So if they call you by phone, it's because you left a message. Otherwise, wait until they go to your house. We're going to be also going like to stores or pantries, and we're gonna be having our signs right there to help out people as
Okay.
well. And we're gonna
That's
start
good
doing
to know.
that. Yeah, we're gonna start doing that this coming Tuesday. And then this Tuesday, when it's elections, of course, we're gonna be around where the elections are gonna be, and then we can help out that day too.
All right, Maria, thank you so much for being with us. And we'd love
Thank
to
you.
have you like once a week if you can
Yes.
able to. Wednesday is our all Spanish program, and it's harder for us to get Spanish speakers. So if you could clear your schedule on Wednesdays, that could be a help, or we can get you scheduled in a different way. And then maybe we can help break out a couple of different aspects. I'd like to talk some more about the security piece.
Yes. Sure.
Because that's a huge concern for people. Thank you, Maria. Be safe.
Yes, anytime.
All right. All right, folks. I'm going to show you what now we're going to go back to the election. This is what, if you ordered your ballot to mail in, looks like, right? Just so you see, it's kind of a wider envelope than you normally get. Like this is a normal size envelope, because we're getting a lot of mailings and I know it gets confusing. So let me just show you the difference. You see the difference in size? This is a different mailing about the election, and this is the actual ballot, this one. So you open it and you get an English and Spanish version of instructions, okay? And then you're gonna get where you can drop it off at. Now, I already sent my ballot in, so I can't show you that, but just so you know, this is like where the ballot is. And I just want to point out a couple of things, so that you know that when you open it, this is a primary. So here's what you have to do. Remember, in a primary, you have to pick a party. So you either pick a Democrat, a Republican, or the third option. I forget what they're calling it these days. It's not independent anymore. It's called something else. So you got to pick a party, which role you're going to vote in. And you can only vote in that one. So you can't skip around and like go one here and one there. You got to pick one of those and then within their vote. You have to use a black ink pen. And then you got to make sure you fill out that oval fine. And then you have to make sure that your ward number. So let me get my envelope back to show you. I erased it, but I shouldn't have. Let me see if I can clear that up for you. On this envelope right here, it says ward number, where you usually vote. That has to match the number that's on your ballot, just in case something goes wrong. Now, what's happening? You could mail it in, but it's at this point, you're better off if you haven't mailed it in to be safe, because remember the election's on Tuesday and it's already Friday. So you're better off dropping it off. And so Marisol will pull up a slide and I'm going to share with you where you can drop these off. First of all, okay, I'm going to have a little challenge again with the font, but lucky I have a flyer in my hands. Early voting and absentee voting ballot drop-off sites. So express sites. Express sites, you can drop off now through Sunday. Now through Sunday, you can drop it off at express sites. That's at the Zeidler Center Municipal Building, 841 North Broadway. We have this information on our Facebook as well. Manitoba School, 4040 West Forest Home Avenue, and Midtown Center, 5700 West Capitol. Okay, what are the times? Today, they're open until 5 p.m. Tomorrow, Saturday, they're open, and Sunday from 10 to 3. From 10 to 3, folks. Now, there is staff available that will sign your ballot, because on the outside of the envelope, you have to have a witness sign it, and that witness has to be like an eligible voter. And so if you don't have that, when you drop it off, they'll do that for you. If you haven't registered yet, you can register also that day. They'll help you fill that out if you haven't filled it out or you're confused at all. And then if you want, there's some limited sites that you can drop off to as well. You can drop off on the south side to the Bayview Library, 2566 South KK. Avenue at Mitchell Street Library, right on 9th and Mitchell, at Zablocki, 35th in Oklahoma. And you can go there now. It looks like only tomorrow is the last day for those 3 sites, Saturday from 9 to 3. So please take advantage of that, folks, and vote. It's important that you have this primary vote in, so you get the right people to be running for in November. So your person could not make it to November. So you want to make sure you get this primary one in. All right. Thank you, Marisol, for locating that. I appreciate it. Thank you, Maria, for the census piece. We want to make sure that your voices are heard. Let me just catch up with myself now, because I had to do a segment that isn't mine. It throws me off a little bit. All right. Let me see. I was checking and I didn't see many questions or any questions when I checked. I'm going to check back now. Hola, Trine. Hi, Stacy. Liz Castellanos. Thank you. Constitutionalist. Yes. Thank you. Back in the day, it was independence. That's, I'm aging myself. Anyway, folks, appreciate you. Thanks for being with us. I want to remind you that next week, don't you want to meet the new generations of organizers? We've had Dr. Baez on. We're waiting for Jesus Salas to come on. We've had to reschedule because he's such a busy guy. People are so demanding of his time. We're hoping to have Carmen Cabrera on, our vice president of our board and major legacy leader in the community, many others. So we want to hear from the new generations. And so coming up next week, we have Youth Empowered in a Struggle from Voces on Tuesday. And that's our all Spanish day. We're switching from Wednesday to Tuesday just next week. Then on Wednesday, we have Senator Baldwin, who's going to catch us up on COVID. Those of you who are in the fight with us, that the only Social Security office on the South Side was closed, she'll give us an update on that, and several other things. So stick with us. Immigration reform at the federal level. And then on Friday, we have LIT, Dakota from LIT, and Leaders Igniting Transformation. And I've invited the African American Roundtable and Block as well. And so we want to hear from the new generation, their thoughts. So stick with us to hear all about what's happening in the social justice movement. I want to share again that we're in solidarity with our protesting brothers and sisters and families out there, ensuring that we don't let this time pass from us and we get real change in America and in Milwaukee. And that our thoughts and prayers are with those who've been impacted by C-19. I've had more family members and friends test positive. That's been scary, from small children all the way up to seniors. A couple other folks pass from that. It's a real thing. And so please know that our thoughts and prayers and help is with you. If you need resources or getting through information, please call us. We're happy to help connect you to what we know is available in the community. All right. Remember, don't click off yet. We're going to do our thank yous for our donors, and then we're paying tribute to our beloved, love, Clarissa Morales. And you want to see that dedication. And Andrea from our staff, she does our team. She coordinates our team efforts, our staff meetings, etc. And she put together a group of people to send some great messages. So after this, thank you. Stay with us, and we'll watch the dedication for Clarissa.
Good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in to SOC's Live Forum today. My name is Jeanette, and I am the resident lead for South of the Tracks Polonia Resident Group. Today, we'd like to thank some sponsors: Wisconsin Voices, Community Development Block Grant, Neo Philanthropy State Infrastructure Fund, Movement Voter Project, Catholic Campaign for Human Development, Zilber Foundation, City of Milwaukee Office of Violence Prevention, Tides Foundation, City of Milwaukee Promise Zones, and all the faithful individuals who support SOC through their personal donations. We thank you. We hope you all are staying safe. Talk to you soon.
Clarissa, I love and appreciate you more than you'll ever know. You're my ninja. You're my ride or die. You took this journey with me to rescue SOC, even when it was just the two of us doing the work that really required 5 people. And we did it. We exceeded goals, and a lot of that had to do with your work ethic, your love for this community, and you being real. And it's SOC's 30th anniversary, and we wouldn't be here celebrating it if you wouldn't have committed and made the sacrifices along with me. And I want to share with everyone that when I arrived to SOC 5 years ago, there was 3 staff. Gladys, when I interviewed the staff and said, like, what were their thoughts about SOC moving forward and what had transpired before I arrived, Clarissa was the only staff to say she didn't work for the former executive director and she don't work for me. She works for the people of the South Side. And that's the kind of character that it takes to really be an organizer and to really serve the community. And thus, she's the only staff person I ended up keeping. And so I want her to know how vital, critical, important she was to rescuing SOC, how much all the value that she brings to us on a personal and professional level. I wish you the best, Gladys, in this new adventure of doing your first love work. But I'm more happy that you'll be staying with us, even if it's just a little bit of your time each week. I love you immensely. God bless you, and thank you for these last 5 years.
Hey Gladys, it's Drea, as you already know. Today is meant to just highlight your incredibleness, and I'm so thankful that today is not your last day at SOC, that we get to have a lot more experiences with you, and that we get to have you on our team, because I know we're just 10 times more effective when you're behind a project with us. I'm going to be sad that we don't get to have you all the time, but, knowing that you're my neighbor and knowing that, you're always down for helping out the community, you're just so vital in so many ways. So I'm grateful that, even though you're moving on and going to spend most of your time with Riverworks, we still get your skill set, we still get your downness, we still get your humor, we still get your encouragement, and just so many great things about you. I knew immediately as soon as I met you that I definitely wanted to work with you and that you are my type of people. So very grateful for you and very grateful for the sisterhood that I feel with you. And yeah, you already know, no matter where you go, I'm still going to bug you. So, all right. Love you.
Hey, Claudia, I want to just let you know that you've been the most welcoming and kindest person to SOC. Starting with SOC, I was a little nervous, and then when you were joking around during staff meetings and the first time I was interacting with you, you really made it a really fun and awesome atmosphere for me to be in, starting off with SOC, and you're just so kind and very sweet and considerate of everyone around you all the time. And I hope that your new job fulfills you in every single way, and I'm sending you positive vibes.
Gladys, thank you for being such an awesome friend and co-worker. Your whole vibe is definitely going to be missed, and we wish you the best of luck in your next venture. Love you so much. I know I'm going to see you around, so it's not a goodbye, just a shout out video, and best wishes to you. Mwah.
What's going on, Gladys? Just want to wish you the best. Thank you for all your time helping us out here, especially District Number 2, with all the events that we'd had throughout the years. You're a big help, but hopefully we'll see you again. Take care, and salud. Congrats.
Hi, Gladys. I wanted to send out my shout out to you. We're so very proud of you. We're going to miss you. We've had a really nice long run, DNS and SOC, me and you working together, and I enjoyed every day of it. Your work ethic and your engagement with residents is, there's nothing like it. And so I can't wait to see what your new chapter is going to bring you in life and work. And so, you know, congratulations, and I will see you on the other side of the tracks.
Look, this is dedication. This is anti-hesitation. This a real celebration. It's a dime block declaration. 59th and 5th Ave, granny house with vanilla wafers. It's the remedy to separation. Tupac of my generation. Blue pill in the fucking matrix. Red rose in the gray pavement. Young black trapped and he can't change it. Know he a genius, he just can't claim it. Cause they left him no platform to explain it. He frustrated so he get faded. But deep down inside he know you can't fade him. How long should I stay dedicated? How long till opportunity meet preparation? I need some real reparations, or I run up in your bank just for recreation. Dedication, hard work, plus patience. To some more of my sacrifice, I'm done waiting. Told you that I wasn't playing. Now you hear what I've been saying. Dedication. Dedication. Look.
I spent my whole life thinking out the box. Boxing homies 3-on-1, got DP, but I ain't dropped. Chirp on me, here I come. Spin around the block, they blurred on me. Said I ran a stop sign, but that's a lie.
We love Clarissa so much. And just so that you're not confused, Gladys is our veteran staff. She is Gladys. She is the best. She's our veteran staff. She's been here 6.5 years. She was trained and has a long history in social work. And even though she loves doing community organizing, that's her first love. And we don't want to deny her her first love. So she's going on to work for Riverworks full time. But the joy in it all, right, from the sadness of like wanting her to be with us, is that she'll be staying on with us to help us transition for a couple hours every week. And we're glad that we get to keep a little piece of her. So yes, I'll read Gladys. Says, Gladys is the best. Thank you for all your hard work and dedication to our community. Jeanette, her daughter, oh, love it, right? They did a great job. Stacy, I'm so blessed to call Gladys a neighbor and more important, a friend heart. Jeanette, Gladys Morales, you're amazing. Yes, she is. So folks, Gladys is going to stay on and help us with bilingual services, public resources, and office management. And Travis Hope is going to be switching over to NSP 17, which he's there all the time anyway. You won't notice a lot of change there because they kind of share all kinds of things. And which means that we will be hiring a NSP, Neighborhood Stabilization Program. That's a federal designated area organizer that will be working in the area around 16th Street to Miller Parkway, the Valley to Oklahoma. So if you're interested, send us an email at soc@socmilwaukee.org because we'll be bringing you on. And Gladys wants you all to know, I love this. Thank you all so much. We also gave her a gift of some digital cash because we're so very nostalgic on the South Side. And so we gave her some treat money to go to some of the very nostalgic, beloved places. Coney Island at Roll Mines, now that it moved over there. Maria's Pizza, El Rey, etc. So we love her and know she'll still be helping us with some things, but we want her to be thriving in her first love. Thank you all for participating in that. If you have messages, you can continue to send them to her at soccer directly. Thank you. Be safe, and we'll see you at Monday, 3 o'clock with soccer.